We have myself today, Coach Mitch, and we have Coach Ian. Coach Ann is here as always, and on how you can be a little bit more intentional when it comes to your macro cueing in classes. A lot of times our macro cueing is just a lot of yelling and excitement, but it's not as intentional as we really aim it to be. Macro cueing is shaping the experience. It's giving the members the how and the why of what they're doing. So it's like that big picture so they can be very intentional, whether that's cardio, resistance, or hybrid workouts. Some good taglines in here are, this is your push window when we're hitting those final sets. This set is about control, not speed. You should feel uncomfortable here when we're hitting those super hard tempos like we did on Iceberg, right? This is going to make members feel like, okay, this is what the class is supposed to feel like. I'm struggling for a reason. My coach is going to help me get through it. This is exactly what I'm supposed to be getting out of this workout today, whether it be metabolic conditioning, endurance, their aerobic capacity, hypertrophy. It lets them know the why. It lets them correct and adjust their effort as well. So you may have somebody who's just repping it out during Iceberg, and you might want to tell them to slow it down a little bit. And it helps them trust the programming and the workout design. Lots of times our members will like to change things or do things that we know as coaches doesn't really fit the workout. So this is how you get them to commit and really buy into what the workout's designed for and get the most out of it and do it the right way. Not every class should be max hype. I love having a lot of energy. I know you guys are great coaches and you're bringing a lot of energy to classes. I'm not telling you to take that away. We just want to focus it a little bit. We don't need to be rah, rah, rah and cheering and yelling and screaming from the start of class all the way to the end. The whole thing is just going to feel like, what the hell was that? It's just like just a big rah, and now we're done. And then I'm throwing a towel in a hamper and I'm going home. And I'm just sitting in my car in shock because I was in 45 minutes of craziness, right? Your class should have like a crescendo to it. Your intro, your demo, that's your warm up. You're going to provide some more information as that's going on. You're going to build up on those moments that are happening in class, those high fives and things like that, and end with a nice crescendo by the end. I always like to ask myself, what does the class need from you today? And, that could vary from your class time to your class populations and to the class type as well. Our 3 class formats we're going to talk about today are cardio classes, our resistance classes, and our hybrid classes. Every class format is balanced between these macro elements. So intensity, like what heart rate percentage should I be going at? What should my rep range kind of be? Should I be lifting as heavy as I can today, like for something like benchmark? Anchor points are going to be how we ground members in the how and why. Something, again, like benchmark. We really want to help members truly understand this is an assessment workout. I need you to struggle on reps 8, 9, and 10 so you can really see what a 10 rep max is and what it feels like. And then your energy. I'll just keep using benchmark as an example. That is one of my favorite classes. I know some members are sick of it, but it's one of my favorite classes because everybody's pumping out crazy weights and it's totally rah-rah, but you can't do that on their first warm-up set, right? You're waiting till they get to their 3rd set and they're going for that heavy 10, and then you're cheering them on. I mean, you're excited, you're clapping them, they're giving the high fives. That lets them be a little bit more intentional from what they're doing from station to station and from set to set. Watch the highlight videos on the F45 training app. Juddy gives us this stuff all the time. He tells you exactly where your energy should be, and he'll provide you awesome macro and micro cues for each exercise and for the entire class as well. Once again, we don't want to start off too excited, yelling, screaming, and we don't want to come in dead as well. You need to prioritize your tone to capture the attention of the entire class. For a workout like today, we have descending timing, progressive overload. We're increasing the weight. By the time you get to that last set, you want to give that good macro cue of, hey, team, we should be going as hard or as heavy as we can today. And that should be an exciting, loud tone, right? And it should be assertive and very sure. If you ask it like a question, hey, team, can we go as heavy as we can right now? I don't know, coach, can I? Or can I just keep using these 2 pounds and I hope you don't come over here, right? Be very intentional, very specific on what you want from your members and give them that autonomy and make them feel like they can do that, right? So this is our last set. We're going to go as heavy as we can. If you can't go heavier, no worries. Play with some tempo, play with some pauses. Just stress those muscles so we can get stronger. Oh, yeah, I'm ready to go now. I'm going to let Coach Ian take over here for a little bit, and I'll jump back in.
All right. So we have our 3 different types of classes. And even in those 3 types, cardio, hybrid, resistance, Each of these classes are going to be different. That's what we tout with F45. Every class is going to be different. Every day is different. And it's a good example with cardio here. Some of the main focuses you'll see are workouts based around reps or your perceived effort or endurance. All these classes function very much differently from each other. That calls into question how we coach differently as well. So when we're looking at the right balance of a cardio class, the output, the heart rate, the movement flow, all these different factors, and then incorporating that into how we're going to coach them. So looking at intensity, right? If that class has a short working set, if it's 20 seconds like Athletica, we're looking at an explosive effort of 80 to 100%. We really want them pushing in that little short burst. Right? We get longer, get a little spicier there, 70 to 80%. We want that effort where it's consistent. They're able to work through that whole timer, and then longer sets near a minute, or sometimes depending on the workout, more than a minute, 50% to 70% consistent pace, work for majority of that timer. You need to shake it out. But keeping in mind intensity of our coaching will work toward how intense they get in the workouts. Anchor points, like I was saying before, reps, we're looking at something like triple threat, right? We want them to establish that baseline in that first 20-second set. And then from there, they're looking to double, they're looking to triple as they go on through the workout. There's a reason to that. We want them to keep that effort as they go through, especially with these longer sets. Or if you got like Afterglow, which we use there as an example too, the ladder reps, how high can they get? With that active rest, the urgency of it. They get done with that 20-second set. They have a little breather, but then how can you get them ready to go right back into that 20-second set on the second time? And then athletic skills, right? We have so many different moves in our classes. So there's such a vast variety with coordination, agility, balance. How are we going to approach that to give members the right effort that we want to see? With the coach energy, with the cardio, there's going to be a lot of that high, sharp, motivating energy. That max hype is more going to be towards that cardio. But we do still want to be able to give quick corrections direct with the information we want to pass on. And then timing matters, building up on that coaching as we're going through our class. So it's all about finding that right balance with the cardio sessions. Back to Mitch here for the resistance.
And then as we talk about resistance, very similar themes going on, right? We have these different class types in here, and different things are going to matter for these class. Red Diamond, 50-50. We're thinking a lot about load because those are progressive overload workouts. Hammer, Iceberg, we're focused on the stimulus of those pulses, those pauses, the tempo. And Medusa and Lone Star, right? We're getting into isometrics and we're using full range of motion, usually unilateral movements on one side. So it's really getting specific, right? Getting into those little nitty gritty details when it comes to those resistance classes and explaining that why, reinforcing that why during class. So nobody's switching from right to the left during Lone Star before the second lap, right? We want members to stay true to what the programming is, because that's how they're going to see the full benefit of the programming, especially as we build over our series and our phases. The intensity is going to be based upon what phase we're in. Our base phase is always about foundations, so getting proper movement in, working on technique. As we get into our build phase, we want to focus on control as we're going for heavier weights. And then into our peak phase, we're really mastering those movements. Some of the anchors we use are going to be the tempos. Remember, with our beginners, this is always a good thing for them to focus on, controlling the negative. It's always quality over quantity. I always tell everybody, I don't care if you did 10,000 reps and they were all wrong. I'd rather you do 2 reps and they were perfect and you felt the exercise. And then active rest and recovery. Like breathing is so important. Members need to breathe through their exercises, especially resistance exercises. We want to keep oxygen flowing to those muscles. And yes, their Lionheart scores are not going to climb up. They're not going to be in the yellow and in the red like they want to be. And they may not be on the top of that leaderboard, but they're going to have a better control of their muscle contractions and what they're trying to do with those weights. Your coaching energy for resistance classes may be a little bit more calm and controlled. It should be more kind of like that teacher hat, right? Where you're a little bit more dialed in, you're providing more education, and you're confident and bold with your cues. You got your tactile, your verbal, and your visual cues, and you can mix those up, interchange them, but just be 100% confident with them. You want to be authoritative, clear, and strong. So when you're telling somebody to drop it down quick, push your knees out, it should be sharp, executed, and you obviously please Please reward your members, give them a high five, let them know they're doing it right when they are doing it right. Don't just yell at them and stand there in a nice way, in a motivating way, and then reassure them that they did it the right way. And that's what you're looking for. And let them know the why, right? This is going to be safer on your knees. This is going to help you target the muscle that you're doing for this exercise right now. And this is going to be the most beneficial for you. Our hybrids are going to have a little bit of a mix of everything from our cardio and our resistance. We have both in there, right? Each one of these hybrid classes are different. I love all these examples on here. You have your AMRAPs with Tempest and Apex, and then effort with NoHo and quarterbacks. Our timing is different there from those 45-minute classes to hour-long classes. Loyal, how do I flow in loyals? T10, we have cardio resistance every other station, but we have 4 laps. It's a little bit more about endurance and maintaining that effort and that sustained energy and keeping members accountable. I liked what Ian was saying a lot about triple double in this week. One thing I told members is count your reps. Told them that during the beginning, but as we got into that second lap, I said, this time I'm really going to ask you what rep you're on when I come over, and I want an answer. And then I'm going to stand by you and make sure you do it again for your next set, because I'm here to hold you accountable and make sure you progress, right? And that's what we're here for, right? To hold our members accountable and make sure they're progressing, not just going through the motions. Athlete IQ, effort, push versus pace. These things are going to matter the most when it comes to hybrid classes. Intensity, members' choice, prioritizing strength versus cardio. We have that breakdown. If they're more cardio focused, they can go lighter and faster with those weights, right? They're still working on that consistent effort. They're going faster on those cardio machines, still focusing on big things like their breathing. So when we talk about strength, it's always form over everything, quality over quantity. In cardio, we want to measure that output, giving them a rep goal or a target goal for calories or meters, helping members understand how to transition. A lot of our hybrid classes have really interesting formats where we have combo sets or an open pod and things like that. So we want to get members to understand your combo sets, you're going A and B. So they know how to do the class smoothly, so they're transitioning quickly. You don't have to constantly remind them. You're not holding somebody's hand trying to get them to station and then trying to get them to perform the exercise and then timing's over. We want that pace, that energy to feel smooth. The coaching energy should be dynamic. You should match that station, right? If that station needs a lot of energy, a lot of excitement, like something like a box jump or a skier where we need to focus big time on power, right? We want to dial that stuff in. Focus on those hard stations, those stations that are going to need a lot of rah, a lot of high, and then those other stations that need a little bit more technicality to them. I just did 40 seconds of burpees. Now there's a barbell RDL. Okay, let me make sure this person has their core locked in, their shoulders are back and down, they're breathing, they're doing the movement correctly, because they were just flying off the walls as they were doing as many burpees as they could. But let's bring them back, get them to breathe, stay in control, and perform the exercise correctly. Those energy timing shifts are going to matter. We see that green, that's when we are explaining, hey, the team, this is what we're going for right here. I need you to be ready with the weights in your hand. We're using tempo, we're using pauses, whatever it is. And then in the middle, before their next set, right? What kind of cues are we giving them there? Intentionality of the next movement or the next part of that set, or the next part of that workout. How can we encourage them to go heavier? If you still had a little bit left in the tank and you can push a little more, pick up a heavier weight. If you're feeling comfortable here, get a little bit comfortable with being uncomfortable. We're going to do it again. On the red, that's when we're going to unleash. That's when you can rah, go. Let's finish strong. Really galvanize the troops and have them finish like a team and like a family. Remember, your voice controls the room. I said it in the beginning, tonality is such a big thing. You want to deliver the right energy at the right time with the right intention. It is okay to be very authoritative. It is okay to be serious. It's okay to tell jokes over the mic. And you can use your pitch on your microphone to elevate, enunciate the big things you're trying to highlight about the workout. Yes, Anna.
First of all, thank you, Mitch and Ian. You talk about vocal tone. Can you speak to vocal fluctuation? Like how would you change your voice, even just in one sentence? Like what's the difference between using a low tone or a high tone? How do you fluctuate between the two?
Let's say use a workout like a triple double. They're finishing their first lap, they're on their last set. We want them to bring their heart rates down. They get a minute rest. We want them to get as much recovery as possible. So my tone is going to change from, all right, last 10 seconds, push through, finish it, from beep to beep, let's go, to, all right, team, sip our water, sip it, don't chug it, Focus on your breathing, 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out. Let those heart rates come down. Check it out. We're going back to our original station and we're going to go through one more time. All right. And just need you guys to be intentional. Keep counting your reps. Keep matching them up from set to set. You're going to get a little bit tired halfway through this last lap. It's okay. Just focus on your reps. It's okay if you slow down. Just don't stop. Focus on your reps. We'll get through it all together like a family. All right. Everybody get to your stations. Get ready. Get set. All right. Let's go. All right. And then like, see how it starts slow. I'm nice, I'm kind, I'm bringing the energy down so I can build it back up.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, Mitch. Thank you for addressing that. Over the years, I've learned to think about my voice almost like I'm singing a little bit when I'm coaching, which sounds weird, but like sometimes your voice goes up and then sometimes it goes down, and that keeps people listening. If you just talk at the same note every single word, you're going to lose people. It starts to sound like white noise. So when you're not only increasing volume, but increasing the pitch of your voice, that kind of keeps people, okay, what'd she say now? What'd she say now? It's more engaging that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I love to hear a lot of hypeness going on and a lot of yelling going on, but that also just turns into just white noise where you can't really hear any of the sometimes really good cues that are going on, but they just kind of get lost in there because music is going, another member's talking, and then that just kind of gets lost. But if you can pick those right times, especially during breaks or transitions, and you focus on the intentionality of like those transitions, even like I'll use triple double again as an example. It's a 10-second rest. Members have to move quick to that next station, get set up and go right away. It's a very short break. And if you cue that, hey, we got 10 seconds, get to the next station, get set up, grab your weights, take a big breath in and get going. They're going to be ready to go. They're going to figure it out by the time they hit their second or third station. They're going to be ready to go. They're really, okay, we're moving around the room and we're staying here for 3 sets, but we're just moving and going. You let them know when their break is going to be. But if you kind of let them mill around to the next station, get set there, they're going to miss a lot of the workout. And they're not going to get the workout they came there for today. This is a big way to keep the room in control. It's just being super intentional of your pitch, your tone, your words.
That's a really good point, man. You say it all the time that red is your green, and it's such a good philosophy because not only is that the time to remind, okay, here's the tempo I want you to hit. Like you mentioned Foxtrot, that you're going to say something different to prep them for that 20-second sprint rather than what you're going to say before the 45-second set where you need to take it down a little bit. Like it's okay to modify. I like to say, as long as you're moving, you're doing the work here. It doesn't matter what that looks like for you. Using that space, that time they're resting, they're breathing, they're more likely to listen and take in what you have to say rather than halfway through that longer set when all I need to do is figure out how I'm going to do the next rep rather than kind of what my coach is saying to me right now.
Exactly. I love that. And I think another good thing you can do with your members is engage with them over the microphone. It is a fantastic thing. One of my coaches does it all the time, and I think it's hilarious. It's fantastic. When we were doing Joker last week on Fridays, he checks in with members in the middle of class, and he asks them if they have anything motivational to say going into the next pod. And sometimes you get but it's funny, and it brings a little bit of levity into what is a tough workout, right? And doing that will feel like they're part of the class as well. They're helping that instruction. They're helping their fellow members get through a tough class. So try to engage with your members as much as possible.